Okay, looks like we're back. Yeah, we're back. So what was the last thing you heard me say?
Looks like Kalrati has disappeared. That's the last thing I heard you
oh,
say.
that what you heard me say? Oh, okay.
Admiral was asking you a question.
What the hell was I
Don't forget
asking
the-
now? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was about the Loremakers, about the exploration and how the UEE contracts freelancers and to maybe look for military savvy locations, I guess, and what do they call it? Surveying those type of things, and also they looking for the Krell system. They also talk about the Krell system, which is again they're the enemies of the Xeon. So the UEE is trying to like maybe get on their good side, but we at the same time we're not trying to like piss off the Xeon.
Okay.
See what happens.
Yeah, that was a long answer, but yeah, Navy exploration. That was what you're getting at, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. See, can you do us a favor? Can you share your screen again?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So let me go to the next page before I do that. But yeah. So yeah, this is Yogi on master mode and combat at Shadow Motors. So let me share my screen real quick, and Kalrati can put the link in chat. But yeah, at the German GameStar forum, a fellow backer posted a Discord exchange of Yogi and present players at Shadow Motors Discord. Took place sometime yesterday, so this was last week. Unfortunately, most of the Yogi's answer has been posted. What? Okay. But in an opinion, in this exchange, Yogi answers the master mode and current citizen combat should by all means be brought to the spectrum for discussion. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but someone posted the complete version, and then Yogi posted a reply. So they decided to go into some details. Yogi's statement about 323 is that's a placeholder. He said, not everything. The only current weapon tuning is a placeholder, and they mentioned that in Pistol Com before. The current weapon and item tuning needs to be overhauled because it's not compatible with the upcoming resource network and internal gameplay. And that record aspect of 223 are a one-way road because 4.0 will change them anyway. But that does not account for all aspects of flight and combat. And someone said, or I believe they quoted him as saying, so all 323, excuse me, all 323 master modes combat backup feedback is useless, as we're going to now giving feedback to already obsolete version. And Yogi replied that is not what that means. While the personal focus is on 4.0 and 4.1, there's still a bunch of stuff commonly feature on 323. Patches that include much one is ship tuning fixes and some weapon changes like the missiles, obviously. It does not mean the feedback is obsolete. In general, we usually don't do things from scratch. Even the flight experience in 323 was not drastically new. It was an iteration of previous model. But they still haven't hit the mark that they wanted to hit. So they'll keep iterating as they go. We've also got lots of good feedback over the last week and month, and it's absolutely affected the work of flight and combat beyond 323. This is another quote from the article, or the summary. Bashir Yogi is effectively saying he doesn't care about any balancing or changes to master mode. And Yogi responded, that's on me, on them. They should have worded that more carefully, knowing that it could get misquoted. Of course, they care about the current game. This is more aimed at the current tuning state of weapon, which they said before will get changed in 4.0 in spite of some adjustment in future 3.3 patches. And the fact that the focus is not on 323 anymore. This is what they meant. Please do not read anything more into it. So yeah, what are people's thoughts?
I'll start off.
Okay.
And I just hope that they I'm not gonna say reconsider master mode. They definitely need to just even it out a little bit better. I have issues with bombers being able to go fast over the ground. I know other people aren't a fan of it. I'm not saying that we need to go back to this this ability to kind of like doing the old horse. What do they call it when two horses come in when they're galloping at each other?
Oh,
Kalrati
Off
or
to the
anybody?
races.
yeah.
No, when you have two horses
Joust-
and knights and they're
joust-
galloping at each
I mean,
other.
jousting.
Jousting, yeah,
Oh,
jousting.
jousting. Oh, you're coming at
Yeah.
each other. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I know we're trying to get away from that and the fact, but I really don't feel like master mode should like if I go to like whatever slow mode or I put my shields on, like a propeller is gonna come out of the front of my spaceship and start to turn on, and all my jet engines turn off. It just doesn't make any sense. So hopefully they'll just update it a bit. I mean, we're still early on. They have years to change this stuff to whatever.
Don't say years. We don't want years.
Years. And I kind of think the Squadron 42 can just be like Squadron 42, and they can update it on the future RPG versions. But I mean, Mass Effect was changed like each time. Their gameplay was changed each game, so and it got better each time. So I really it can
That depends
change.
on who you ask. But yeah,
Well,
some
second
people
one
didn't
was
like
much
the
better than the
changes.
first one. I mean, originally I didn't, but it really I got used.
All right. Anyone else? Kalrati?
Yeah. So improving this thing on a live service like Star Citizen is probably chaotic because the amount of data. I don't know the kind of data or the different performance indicators these Yogi and team collect to change and optimize in those things, but it must be a lot because that's my field when it comes to data analytics and creating regression, and well, essentially that's these fancy models to then use to improve upon. But with having so much data, and then sometimes you have to say that all right, it's not where we want it to be, but we kind of have to make certain changes to make it feel good, but we're not really. But that's a placeholder. It must be crazy because even, for example, for the server mesh tech preview, for those who would have tested, we had to play on the older flight model. So luckily, some of us would have had the muscle memory still, or even the keybinds to go back and play those. But I can't imagine how chaotic it must be sometimes to kind of have all this data, and you have to kind of mix and match or try to separate that which you're keeping as a placeholder, and then you're using some of the older things to improve upon. So props to that team for even being able to stay sane, because it's crazy, man. But like Admiral said, we have some time, and I'm confident that we'll get to a point where hopefully, just saying a random number, but hopefully 90% of the community is satisfied, because I don't think everybody's going to be satisfied.
Oh, that's a high number.
I know, I'm just saying a number.
Mhm.
But yeah, hopefully a healthy majority will be satisfied in the end.
All right. Moving on. RSI Launcher 2.01 is release note. This release on the 17th, so I guess last Friday ish. They decided to share the Launcher 2.01 with everyone. The past month, they gathered feedback from the issue council and expect them to answer the needs of users and various since release of 2.00. The 2.01 can be found there at that link if you want it. Fixed from issue council, they have a whole bunch of fixes. Other fixed issued, updating error handling, copyright update. Added a do not show this again checkbox when closing dialogue. Improve base pack corrected error. Fixed channel getting stuck in queue when being stuck. And some other stuff. So yeah, the game button always stays stuck on waiting in queue when freezing TOS. So yeah, they have a couple of known issues already in there. I haven't downloaded it yet. Still on 2.01. But there are several other issues. So I think we have 6 tabs of different responses. So Taki Bushi was talking about killing Linux compatibility. Ludo responded they want emulation to rewind to keep working on Linux. users and Linux users to enjoy the game. They're following great work followed by the Lug Award. And if you have issues accessing the game, please create an issue council report. So on and so forth. Hotfix said, can we keep using 2.0 release candidate beta as the test client normal? Ludo responded, yes, you can keep using the release candidate. This is where they're going to keep pushing the Evocati release candidate. They also plan on planning a setting allowing users to upgrade to the testing version of the launcher, but it's in a backlog and not in the priority right now. They're focusing on CPU issues, background video issues, and reducing download errors. A few more. Can we get an answer about whether or not they can expect support for multiple accounts? Ludo responded, we have multiple accounts in their backlog, but they want to add the feature, but they do not have it planned yet. So you have multiple account setting in your launcher. Right now, you have to just keep putting the different user ID and password in for each account. But evidently, soon, TM, you should be able to just have everything memorized within the launcher. A couple more. Lucas said that. Oh, the same thing about the Linux one. So they do not plan on having a back-end face roadmap for the launcher. So no roadmap for the launcher. They're mostly following priorities coming down from the game and RSI web platform. And we do not want to keep their agility and ability to support them. They are not going to share a detailed roadmap. But they try to be as transparent as possible on their work through the issue council updates here on Spectrum. They can give you a couple of main focus for the couple of months. Stabilize launcher 2.0 by fixing performance and CPU issues and video background issues, reducing errors on download, and new features, uninstall, delete local settings, manage cache files, and improve game location. Have a great day. And I think that's it. Unless there's one more. No, there's one more. Thanks for the feedback. This person posted a long paragraph or a long post, but they addressed each one. Some accounts have to log back in after the update. This is an issue we've encountered, and they will investigate. They're currently working on horizontal scrolls on a card. Not sure what to say about the issue of sound. The game section is in preparation for Squadron 42. I think we guessed that previously a few weeks ago. They have future tasks and game detection and running and installed. And it should be possible to close the launcher while playing the game, but so far they don't want to make it a blocker. But they're right about the cache handler. So yeah, that is a whole bunch of notes for their 2.0 launcher. So my question is, who here had the new launcher so far? Yay, Kalrati. That's the only one?
I hope not.
I don't have it. I'm still using the old one. Say it again, Pop.
No, I still have no. What is it? What is the number on it?
2.01.
Yeah,
No, I have the old one.
2.0.1. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still on 2.0 with 0. I'll get to it eventually. I think we just thought to get to 2.0. Have you noticed anything, Kalrati?
Not entirely. The only because I mean I do acknowledge the changes that they've made, but I haven't really necessarily noticed any kind of issues but I mean, hey, once they continue to make those changes and improvements, I totally appreciate it. The only thing that I kind of wish that they did kind of improve upon was to verify. It's a really, really like minuscule thing, and it's probably just a personal thing where I don't like having to click on the gear and then wait for the animation to finish and then click on verify for the particular build. It would have been nice to just have a drop down and just click on verify, but anyway, it's just a really small thing. Apart from
it
that,
doesn't look pretty though. It wouldn't look as pretty.
Yeah, it looks pretty. It looks pretty this way, and it wouldn't have looked pretty if you had that. So it's just a really minuscule thing that I'll eventually overcome anyway. But yeah.
Here's a question for people. I wish I had a screenshot of what it would look like, but do you think that the 2.0 launcher looks like it's 2024 standard for a launcher in these days, or do you think it's already dated, or how do you think?
just updated it, didn't they? Like last time?
Say it again.
Didn't they just update it like I don't know, like less than a year ago, right? Like 6 months ago?
Yeah, it's around 6 months. Well, it felt like 6 months. Probably not that long ago, but yeah. The 2.0 came out like less than 6 months, I want to say. I mean,
Question,
to me,
how do you update it?
Does it seem outdated for you?
You got to download it directly from the Spectrum. So you
That
click
way
on
then-
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you go to that link, the 2.0, just RSI setup, and make sure you put it in the right place.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
All right. Go ahead.
I currently just opened up all the possible launches that I have right now to kind of like compare it. And I don't know. I think it looks pretty up to date. In terms of the flow, because we don't have much information compared to the other launchers, like the Ubisoft and EA and Steam. They have plenty of the games and game stores and those things. Of course, it'll be nice to have access to the marketplace and the game store via the launcher eventually. But I think they're getting there. They're getting there. In terms of
I think it looked
design
good
and
for a launch from 2020.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah,
That's fair.
it's not as bad as the old launcher was, which is like 2014. So yeah. All right. So yeah, let's move on. Kalrati, I know you have a whole bunch of links for these. You can just dump it all in one time. But these are
sweet.
just the updates to the knowledge base and support articles. They got the overdrive mission tracking. This was updated a day ago. In relation to XenoThreat. Well, let me just scroll down real quick. So they got the how to use console command, so they're letting you know what mission you are from using the console. Right, basically what they're saying. And then you have the published test universe Pt.2 fact. They updated that a day ago. I'm not sure what's different, but different. Probably the coming line with the 2.0 launcher, maybe. We'll see. Install the starts in the P2. This is in relation to the previous article updated a day ago. Ship naming guide. So I thought this was interesting. I'm not sure what changed, but I'm going to scroll down to the bottom because it's letting you know what ships can be named. Some people may not know. So the 609 can be named, the 890 Jump can be named, the Hammerhead can be named, the Claimant can be named, Mercury Star with it, or just the Mercury can be named, and the Carrot can be named. And so if you get any of those, you don't have to worry about the wave anymore because you're already in wave 4. So you just buy the ship and get upgrade to the ship and name the ship. So some people may have a question about what ship can be named or what ship cannot be named. So this is that. And the Hangar module fact. Oh, I wanted this one because there's a section called "How many ships can you store in different hangars?" This is probably in preparation for when the Hangar module will become available again. It said updated 3 years ago. I'm guessing they updated it this week and then reversed the change because the Hangar module it didn't come back into the game anytime soon. So hold on, let me see. I can just. There you go. So, how many ships can you store in different hangars? You can't quite fit everything in one go. But Selfland can fit up to size 4, and the size 4 is a medium ship. I don't have this as a graphics, unfortunately. I'm just gonna copy this and put it in the chat for people. But the size 1 is a vehicle, size 2 is a snub, size 3 is a small, size 4 is a medium, size 5 is a large, and size 6 is a capital. So that'll give you an image in your head of what the different sizes mean. And if you can fit up to the size 4, same as the Selfland. And Rebel New York can fit up to the size 5 and size 6. So that's the large and the capital. And BSB Industrial can fit up to a size 3. So there you have it. So I thought that was interesting. So whenever we get those hangers back in, that I'm pretty sure this will be updated again to reflect some of the changes.
Do they when did they get size 5 and 6 ships?
They used to be called, in our parlance, they would be called large and capital. But then internally, they would go by numbers. So if someone, as a developer would say a size 5 ship, they wouldn't refer to it as large, they would just say size 5.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep.
I'm asking Kalrati,
Yeah.
she's the one to ask. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, again,
Yeah.
because they're using these parts. The idea is if you have a size 3 component, that size 3 component should be used for a ship. So that's the way they should be, like, fitting these shield generators, these power plants into the size ship that they're creating, or they might have 2 of them or something like that. So if you say there's a size 4 component, which I think is probably in say an M2 right now, you actually have to take that to a maintenance bay where they have to remove the hull of the ship, take it out of the ship. You can't do that with a hand tool or
Or
even a
cutting
dual hand
crows.
tool. Yeah, well, cousin crows could do it too. So when you think about size 5 and 6, it's you're talking about huge components. And when I think of like a 6 or maybe even 7, I'm not sure what the size of the Bengal uses, but if you've ever seen the movie Titanic, when they showed them in the engine room, you're talking these huge, shafts that are moving the propeller and stuff like that. And that's the stuff
Yeah, but
really
Ammo,
they need to get
we have
into.
a tractor beam. Tractor beam can handle that. I'm guessing. Beam citizen. But yeah, we got to move on. But I just want to let people know, because some people may not know about the size to the ship size and stuff like that. But yeah. All right. And then we have Star Citizen Alpha 3.23.1 known issue. This was updated 4 hours ago when I loaded it, probably 7 hours now. I don't know what changed in here, but if we have an issue, check this out. And maybe it'll show you how to do either a workaround or a place where you can go to issue council to talk more about your issue. Alrighty then. Then we have a couple more before we get to the ISC. Why did the Scourge Railgun get nerfed? Zach Pierce said that it'll be buffed in 3.23.2. Was not meant to be nerfed, so that's a mistake. So yeah, the Railgun was not meant to be nerfed. So yeah. And then you have Ship Fight and Atmo. So Jay Crowder, CIG, said, thanks for asking Escator. They're taking into consideration as they work on cleaning up the ship this year. Let me see if I can find the question. Oh, yeah, so they're talking about the flying the roar. And it's just, they wanted to ask about the question about the left-right wobble and flying in the atmosphere. But it's like, is this the expectation with the flight characteristic? Or is the whole wobble left to right thing in the Atmo something they really tuned out on the flight characteristics of the ship? So that's about the roar. So, yeah. Alright. So, ISC, it's 22 minutes almost. So what we're going to do is watch like the first 12 minutes and then come back and then watch the second half. So, let's get started.
Welcome back to Inside Star Citizen, the only weekly behind-the-scenes docuseries showcasing the faces, features, and forward progress being forged in the first-person universe of Star Citizen. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee. Now, with Alpha 3.23 recently out, testing ongoing for the 3.23.2 cargo and hangar patch, and development turning its full attention to the upcoming major milestone that is Alpha 4.0 later this year, we're in one of those periods of ISC production where we like to experiment with the means and manner of the stories we tell. Because like the developers making the very game that we're covering, we want to try new things and new ways of doing what we do. So for the next 3 weeks, ISC will be a bit different than you might normally expect. That means we're going to spend a little more time than normal getting to know the folks themselves as opposed to just what they're working on. Things like asking the UK networking team to film a sort of dev diary on those major server meshing tests from earlier this year. Chat with the level design team to discuss their process and how they're taking all those things they learned in Stanton and applying it to Pyro. And this week, getting to know some folks specializing in the implements of first-person destruction. Now, of course, the ISCs that are driven by specific feature and content work will still continue after this short detour. But we hope that you'll indulge us once again in our effort to share some more personalized stories for the next few weeks. And then, of course, we'll be back with the big flashy stuff soon enough. And don't forget, CitizenCon is just 4 months away. 4 months away. Did we just do one? So that's enough of me. Let's meet the first of 3 teams over 3 weeks that don't often get the ISC spotlight in a feature that we like to call Meet the Team, Weapon Content Team. Meet the Weapon Content Team. Good old WCT. Let's just meet them. Why have you avoided the camera in the last 5 years?
I'm a bit nervous.
How long ago did you start here?
8 months ago.
8 months
Almost
ago?
9, yeah.
How's it been?
It's been great. I like it.
How many of these do you think you've done at this point? I can't keep track.
This is the 5th.
This is the 5th one? Do you like doing these?
Yes, because I'm an attention seeker.
There's definitely more lights than I was expecting, to be fair, but it's very bright. A little nervous, yeah.
I used to be a life model before I came here, so...
Used to be a what?
Life model. So once you've had people draw you naked, it's pretty hard to get awkward around anything.
Not nervous at all?
Not really, no. Not too bad.
Cool.
Depends what the questions are.
How prepared are you for this?
I have been in meetings since I walked in, and I have done nothing up until today.
Phil! Phil, be quiet! The microphone's right there! The microphone's right there in front of your mouth. Aren't we a spaceship game?
We're definitely a spaceship game, but a core aspect of that is definitely the FPS side of it as well. A lot of our players enjoy flying around the spaceships, but they also enjoy the aspect of being able to be boots on the ground and exploring the world from the first-person perspective.
The weapon content team are the team that are responsible for any weapon you see in-game, pretty much.
It's the team that creates the artwork and animation for Star Citizen and Squadron 42.
We make really cool-looking guns. Lots of guns.
Melee weapons, FPS weapons, large capital-size turret weapons, fire extinguishers, multi-tools.
We're just a group of people that just, I guess, find firearms is the most interesting part of, the 3D art space.
So it's called Meet the Team. So let's start where content starts and meet Alberto.
Tell me about Alberto.
I like spaceships.
He's not wrong.
I started in a mixed role in a little company in Germany called Egosoft, and there I was doing spaceships, both 3D and both concept. And I moved here because I was always very passionate of the universe of Star Citizen.
His pathway is just insane. I think he designed, luxury yachts or something, so yeah.
So yachts, planes, everything that was not a car, basically.
Alberto is an incredible concept artist. The concept artist kind of facilitates the development of the idea.
We get the brief, the words, and we translate it to something visual. In my opinion, that's the most creative part.
Alberto's great. I mean, he's a pleasure to work with. I've only had really good experiences talking to him. He provides so little friction when working with him. He's genuinely really good at what he does. He does a lot of the problem solving for you.
What's your relationship like with Alberto?
90% pranks.
Understand what?
The pranks.
Pranks?
Yes.
Like what?
Flipping the screen from each other, like changing the sensitivity of the mouse when he just turn around, something like that.
We really have to fight this guy.
Is that a productive use of your time, Samuel?
If I do it fast. Yeah.
Samuel's one of our newer concept artists in the company. He is very excited about the project and very passionate about everything that we do as a company.
How do you think other people see San Brito?
Oh, that's a great question.
I would say he has this positive vibe to him.
No, he's the doctor.
Sam is fun, getting better and better. He's super young, super talented.
Absolute bundle of joy from a different culture, coming from Venezuela. Lots of interesting stories and really approachable, and just overall the same things I say about Alberto. I can go to him, I can talk about what he's working on, and the concepts he provides are of an extremely high quality.
He's really keen to kind of start working and get a little bit more involved with the weapon side of concepting rather than just the vehicles. Every time we mention it, he's like, oh, can I do it? Can I do it? So yeah, he's super excited about it, which is great. I always kind of think that the more passionate people are about the subject they're working on, the better the results you're going to get. We've got Alexi, who's our weapons lead. He joined us a year and a half ago, I want to say. He's been a great addition to the team.
I decided to work on the video games because I always wanted to help people, not necessarily when they're already ill, because I have a medical degree, but it never worked out for me because down the line I decided that I wanted to bring happiness and not cure the aftermath of it.
Did you know that he got his degree to be a doctor?
What? No, I didn't know. I guess I'd like him to be my doctor. I'd probably trust him.
I really enjoyed the video games, like almost anyone. But at some point it struck to me that real people do them, and I just started to look around and see what I can do, how I can start to make video games, and that's how I ended up as a 3D artist.
Very laid-back guy, has a really good eye for stuff that you can so easily miss. Like he'll pick out stuff I can't even see.
Since he's joined in, the optimization of our work has just flown through the roof. He's a really valuable member of the team, and I definitely consider him a friend. He's a really nice guy.
He's created quite a driving force for the team across both our projects.
Alexi is okay at table tennis.
Just okay?
Yeah, he's okay.
We've got Talon.
I'm one of the key weapon artists here, so I work on creating the 3D models and creating the weapons, the gadgets, hand grenades, and every other kind of thing you can think of that the player might use in the FPS aspect of the game.
Talon, what I say, is a super passionate weapons artist. He's big into sort of airsoft and milsim and that side of things.
The fountain of all knowledge when it comes to weaponry.
I don't think there's anyone that knows more about guns than Talon's.
Does it operate correctly? Where does it take its influences from? And I think that's really important.
He's just a great person to have on the team, nice and approachable, and always up for a bit of a laugh. And joining him's Ben as well, who's another artist too.
What do you think other people say about you?
I'm very quiet, so I'm not sure.
Definitely the life of the party, which you wouldn't expect, noticing that after a few drinks. He's definitely the circle of attention.
He's been a great addition to the team. He's technically our newest member of the team, but he's still been here a couple of years.
I'd say in some ways his artwork is quite sometimes better than mine. He really knows his way around Blender.
He has such a keen eye for details on the weapon.
You can just kind of throw anything at him and know that you're going to get a really solid result out of it. We've got Joel. Originally, I hired Joel as a prop artist probably close to 8 years ago.
I create the artwork for FPS devices, which includes weapons, gadgets. I also make ship weapons.
Joel's actually the most senior member of the team and was there when I first joined. He was an extremely helpful person to encounter.
Very easygoing, super knowledgeable, always has a pun ready.
He has some really strange t-shirts. Every other day he comes in with a new t-shirt with something weird on it, and I'm a bit jealous because every time I see them I kind of wish I'd had the idea of buying them.
I like t-shirts. This one, it's The Simpsons. Everyone likes The Simpsons, right?
What about your producer?
Oh yeah, don't let me forget Kieran. He's Mr. getting things done and getting things done on time, so he's brilliant.
I quickly realised I didn't want to be an artist or a programmer. I started out in level design, and then I found out that my passion was the team.
Without Kieran, there wouldn't be weapon content because he's the guy who glue it all together, you know.
Eats a lot of eggs. eats like, brings in about like 4 eggs a day or something like that. So that's the only bad thing I can think about Kieran.
So next up is our animator, Jordan. He couldn't make it into the office today, but we love him and he's great. I mean, I've been working with Jordan for years on the weapon. Since I took over, he was always there.
Jordan is have a really shiny personality. He's the one person that you can reach out with anything related to animation. He is here to support you.
Always has a lot of like stories and anecdotes.
He's also a little bit scary because he knows where everyone lives, and it's unclear when he gets or how he gets the information he does. But when you join the team, within the first few weeks, maybe the first few months, he knows exactly where you are on Google Maps. And for that reason, he is terrifying.
Yet he can't be here to film for this.
No. Jordan, you could have been here for this. We really need you. Where are you, Jordan?
And I'm Ben, the art director. And that's enough about me, so let's look at some weapons we've been working on. We've got quite a few weapons that are being worked on. We can talk about a couple of them.
And we're back. So yeah, did I mute everything? Okay, good. Everyone can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. So yeah, anyone have any comments about the first half or the first, 3/5 of the episode so far?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, let's see. I like the beginning. The beginning style was to me, it reminded me of an old show that used to come on called Night Gallery, where they had the pictures in the background and the person would do his monologue and stuff from that. It's from the 1969.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was always wondering when we were going to get the Borderland. This is what I call Kalrati probably may have played this game, Borderlands. That styles of weapons like that with the bayonets on them and the kind of stuff. I was wondering, so I guess they're coming into the game, and I don't know if people noticed the mines that they were working on the screen. It was like at 5:05. The shock weapon, it was like at 9 minutes. That was pretty interesting. And the smoke coming off the gun was pretty interesting also. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll jump in. Basically what Pops just said, as well as just kind of looking at the level of detail that these guys put into, the weapons that we use in the game, and starting to see more and more sci-fi things come online. And like Pops was saying, you're kind of seeing more of your Borderland / Outlands kind of a wasteland, style weapons that we have in game, because obviously, Pyro's right around the corner, things like that coming into the verse. So it kind of makes me think about seeing the animations where a weapon is not just a range weapon, now it's both, melee and range. So that's pretty cool to have,
Okay.
I guess I'll just jump in there and just say, I certainly understand where they're coming from with showing like the artists and showing how their their background and how their craft attributes to the game, and how they create their own little mini community really. We certainly see that they all provide their own little bit of magic to just say like one gun. Like one guy's got makes it a little bit more unique by putting maybe some rust on it or put a little bit of wear on it. The one you're showing right now, well, you saw it for a split second, but that's a grenade right there, so that should be interesting or something like that. But like the 5.46 portion, he like has the reindeer things on his head, his antlers on his head in a minute here, and you'll notice where it looks like you almost like wear it on your body like a med pack and you can open it up and have like a med tool, like a not a med tool, but like a med tool or some type of cutter, perhaps like an Omni tool. So they're actually, all the stuff they're showing here is really amazing, and to show like they've been actually putting a lot of work into it, and certainly stuff we're going to see in Squadron 42. It's also interesting the guns that we don't see from major manufacturers. There we go, right here, the thing in the background. So it's just interesting to see how much stuff we got coming into the game to make it very unique no matter where we go. Some of the weapons are just like, you could see, like it's almost like you made them in your backyard. You're like, hey, I don't have access to a mainstream firearm. How do I create something that's deadly and it can use projectiles, either energy or whatnot, and I don't have to go halfway across the galaxy to get ammo for it. So it looks really cool. I like everything they're pushing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kalrati?
Oh, I just saw Captain Serious Fun. Hey.
Oh, Cap, you have a
Captain.
comment about the first half of ISC?
Hey, greetings and salutations. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can.
Yeah, the thing I liked most about it was being introduced to the folks and seeing their passion. I think it was a nice interlude from Jared and his production and talking just about features the first half, because the second half exists. First half I was really able to appreciate, meeting everybody and seeing how they lean in and the level of detail, and that they have varied backgrounds. The gentleman on the screen now being a doctor, but leaning into 3D design, just really cool.
Yeah, and it was pretty interesting, Captain, how he said he wanted to, from coming from a doctor to doing what and he said he wanted to bring happiness into people's lives. I was like, okay, that's yeah.
Yeah, because doctors they only deliver bad news.
Right. I'm like, okay. Okay.
Kalrati?
Yeah, so everybody pretty much touched on, some really good points there. So I was just gonna say there was one particular song that I really, really, really want to hear in the game, and they played it when they were featuring Joel, I think at the 9:50 mark. And it was a bit of like a cyberpunkish kind of upbeat kind of vibe that you would sometimes hear from in other games that are fast paced, from Wolfenstein and those things. So I'm really looking forward to the more upbeat kind of music compared to what we have now, because it would definitely sell that energy when it comes to being in an FPS environment, especially with what Pops had spoken about, where we saw these melee weapons that you would sometimes see in Borderlands and those things. So I really look forward to that kind of vibe in Pyro and in other situations as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I am not an FPS person, but I do appreciate all the work that the design team and concept team and artists and people who put the weapons into the game. And yeah, I do appreciate them. So this is cool. I'm okay with this new format. So if they want to do more of these, I'm cool with it. So I do have a question before we're going to do an ad, but I do have a question before we get to the ad. What is your favorite weapon? So people can type in chat, what is your favorite weapon? Oh, and Deja Hobo, you asked whether or not someone I think knows what thumbhole stocks is why they exist. I don't, but I'm pretty sure someone on the team does, because they're pretty knowledgeable, so I would not be surprised if they do. But yeah, what is your favorite weapon? Go ahead and people tell me that in chat, and then I'll get the ad going here, and we can talk about that during the ad. So here we go. Hopefully it's going soon. There we go. So Cap, you just came in. What is your favorite weapon?
P6.
And why?
Highly effective and at a distance. You may not even see me coming.
Oh, okay. Kusanagi, what is your favorite weapon?
I don't know. one looks like a AR-15, I guess. I'm not sure. Besides that, I like the knife, or like the regular knife, little red kind of strip on it or whatnot.
Okay. Face to face.
Are you asking about your favorite weapon that's in game now, or the favorite weapon that's coming to the game?
It's coming to the game that you like.
Oh, now he changes it up.
No, I'm just asking because he didn't want to specify. I was thinking about
Okay.
in-game, but go ahead.
In game, I mean, I'll give you both. In game is a P6, and coming to the game, but they ain't show it yet. But oh boy. that
Oh,
damn
yeah, okay.
crossbow.
I know what you're talking about. The crossbow. Okay. Okay. And Pops?
Oh boy.
What is this, son? FS9?
FS9.
FS9.
Mhm.
FS9. It'll get you out of trouble.
Yeah, okay. And Kalrati?
Yeah, currently it's the C54. I really like how that gun feels. And well, what's coming? I definitely am curious about that one that was it looked like it was made in your backyard, I think is what Admiral had said. I'm really looking forward to that had the knife under attachment underneath. So yeah.
Nice little
What about you?
Yeah, before this episode, I would have said the scalpel, the sniper rifle, only because I love the name. I don't really use them in game or anything like that. But after the show, I'm gonna have to update it because, like Chris said, yeah. But yeah, thank you everybody for being a subscriber. People who are subscribing, those who support us, we appreciate you. Thank you. All right then, so let's get to the second half of the ISC. Oh, just in time too, so here we go. Unmute.
And that's enough about me, so let's look at some weapons we've been working on. So we've got quite a few weapons that are being worked on. We can talk about a couple of them today. So first up, we're going to talk about the P8AR.
P8AR is a assault rifle that may fill the role of someone that wanted something bigger from bearing manufacturer.
Up until now, it's been our Squadron exclusive rifle. In fact, I've had backers come up to me saying, please release the P8AR.
And really what we want to do is take that P8 base and do a version that was slightly more tailored towards the civilian market.
A lot bigger and a little bit longer than the current P4AR, and personally, one of my favorite weapons that we've ever worked on.
It is kind of more in line with civilian needs, so it's had a little bit of lightning done to it. It's had some of the more aggressive visuals tidied up a touch.
We did a redesign of the stock.
And it's had a bunch of new skins and variants done for the consumer market.
Why not just put the one from Squadron in?
The honest answer is we want to kind of hold that back for Squadron, I guess. It is one of the main weapons you use throughout the campaign, and we still want that to feel unique and special. It's one of the things that we do kind of want to hold back as a bit of a hero experience. It is the standard issue, I think is the correct way of saying it, military weapon for the UEE. It's a workhorse, it's reliable, it's functional, and it just gets the job done.
So the Volt rifle is another new weapon that we're releasing in the PU. A brand new manufacturer for the weapon content team. Volt are a electric and beam ammunition type, using electric batteries to power their weapons.
They're very techy. They feel very professionally homemade. It's not thrown together, but also it's not professionally manufactured.
This is the manufacturer who relies on cheap produced goods, but they still wanted it to look cool and shiny, but they are not really reliable in terms of long-term use.
We wanted a manufacturer where people could use these weapons and then they could also repair and upgrade and kind of, they look like you would be able to strip them down and kind of field repair them, or work in your workshop in your ship, or in your habs or wherever, and kind of really get into the nitty-gritty of how these weapons work. So there's a lot of visual cues to that with, like how the screen attaches, all the little kind of fittings and screws and how it all kind of comes together, that visually is something quite nice and exciting, I think.
There is anything like this in a PU as of now. This will suit more of the guys who wanted to show off rather than to be military-style weapons. You will have some shiny, cool guns that you can show to your friends and say, there, I did it. This is a really cool-looking gun.
I've always been a little bit opposed to very big flashy lasers and electricity on firearms. I think it can drift away from my idea of traditional firearm. But I think working within the confines of what Volt as manufacturer are, being a home-built kit that you could order online supposedly and manufacture yourself, I think really fits into the idea of it being more of a fun ammunition type.
This is still work in progress, but you can see the direction where it's going.
So the Pyro SMG, this is something very different to any of our mainstream manufacturers.
A very small handheld submachine gun, similar to I think a real-world example would be a Tech 9.
And the whole idea with this kind of pyro weapon theme is that these things have been made by just people living on the fringes of the universe. They've used whatever they can get their hands on to make something that works for them.
Imagine Mad Max type of gun that was scraped with everything that you can find around.
Sort of break the art conventions that we've been working with for the last however many years.
Internally we call them non because they doesn't have any manufacturer.
It's made by a guy named Steve.
Yeah, you can say so.
The fact that it's very compact and small allows you to hook very tightly on corners, giving yourself a very low exposure when peeking corners or peeking over cover, and has an extremely high rate of fire, so very good for those really close encounters, but I wouldn't be using it at long ranges due to the lack of a stock.
They're really quite cool weapons to work on and look forward to using maybe more in the future.
Where the hell is my crossbow?
Do you know what? Chris brought a crossbow up recently. He was like, are we going to finish it? And I'm like, well, it's kind of there. There was one thing stopping us with the way the bolts interacted with stuff that we couldn't do at the time.
The fabled crossbow is an asset that we in the weapon concept team have been trying to get pushed out for a long time now.
At the point of creation this crossbow, it was decided that the bolts needs to stuck when you fire them and not disappear like any other bullet. And this prevented the release of the crossbow because we cannot consistently make the bolts stuck.
It's just a super advanced, cool-looking crossbow. It's got these really cool, like, deploying bolts in it because obviously, we don't really want to carry around these massive, great big kind of quiver of arrows. So it's got these really nice kind of compact little bolts that load into it.
Adding more unique firearms and ways to take out enemies silently is something that the game would definitely benefit from, and so seeing the crossbow come out into the PU would be something that made me extremely happy, and I know a lot of the players have been asking me about this too.
Not directly involved with weapon content, but still working on the weapons, audio guys and VFX guys. We're working with them directly, and they make our gun shines and sings.
I'll have done my part of the artwork, it'll have gone down the production line, and a few months later I'll bring it into the editor just to remind myself of what I worked on, and I'll shoot it and hear some incredible audio and be like, oh wow, someone's gone all out on this one.
They're a downstream team that, much like animation, it really brings to life this otherwise static and fairly boring object.
Their work is incredible. I've tried to tell them at some point I want to see them add the lead pipe 01 sound effect into the game, but I've yet to get an approval on that one.
Game development is a group effort. When it comes out great, it's just a miracle at some point of a lot of people involved into it.
You know, it is still a first-person game, and I think that, you know, the work we do is important. I hope we're a significant part of your interaction with Star Citizen.
I do enjoy it when, you know, I see people having fun and, you know, enjoying the weapons we've created and put into the, you know, the Star Citizen universe. There's a big community of people that take, you know, like in-game captures and screenshots and stuff, and seeing people take pictures of your work is really nice.
I would like people to know that the feedback they give us, especially on our team, means a whole lot.
When we see a comment come up about something with the firearms that people might not like, we do take that on board. If it's not applied to the weapon they're speaking about, we'll try and avoid it on future ones. We're always learning.
And if there has been a weapon that you really enjoy using, or is your favourite weapon, then please do let us know in the comments, because the team will love to hear that sort of feedback. With our recent releases, you've seen a whole bunch of updates to how the weapons feel, how they function, and really bring some of those quality and life improvements to the weapons as a whole. And that's just taken a lot of hard work from the weapons department as a whole department, you know, art, design, animation, audio, VFX, like the whole lot. And they've not had a great deal of limelight in these sort of events, but they're super dependable, and I'm very happy to kind of be able to get to talk about them today.
So what did we learn this week? Well, hopefully we learned a lot more about the people that make up the current iteration of the weapon content team. That there's a whole host of new weapons making their way into the persistent universe, and that space